Now, Tiffany, I'm happy you're prioritizing your mental health, but what we're not going to do is lie. What we're not going to do is lie. None of the fans expected you to bring drama. None of the fans asked you to bring drama or to be messy or do any of the stuff that you did that caused you to get the backlash and the hate from the audience that you got. That was all on you. That was all on you, sis. Hey everybody, I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We're here to talk Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 26, Whitlow Stay or Whitlow's Go. Oh, will I stay or will I go? Is that what that's from? I don't like the title. I feel like they could have done better. Call me, y'all. I am very witty. I love a good pun. I can come up with some bomb TV show titles, but this wasn't it. If you're brand new to the channel, I break down TV shows one recap at a time, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So if you enjoy that type of content, you guys go ahead, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you've been watching me for a while and you have not made that jump into the family, I hope this is the video that convinces you to do it. Also, y'all see my tree? I'm not done. All right. So I know there are some gaps. There are some spots I still need to fill in. I still got a bucket of ornaments right there. Just got to put them up on the tree. But the tree's going to be the backdrop for a while. Okay. Let's get into it. So remember, Stormy set up this whole little ponderosa, as Jackie would say, this ponderosa between Tiffany and Kiki. So Tiffany comes in and now she's very shy and docile and oh my God, and she has the baby and now her foot is in a boot and it's like, girl. So she has a hairline fracture. She didn't say if it was like foot or ankle, but she's in the boot. So Kiki feels that Tiffany's interview with Carlos King was all about her. I have not listened to the interview. I don't watch any of Carlos's interviews. I almost said majority. I don't watch any of Carlos's interviews, to be honest. I feel like enough people cover it that I just kind of get like cliff notes. But from what I saw and what they're showing on TV, it seemed like a good portion of it was at Kiki's expense. So she said that there were a lot of discrepancies in Tiffany's interview, and then there were some flat out lies. So Kiki said that she wasn't coming for Tiffany and wants to know why Tiffany feels that way. Tiffany said because at the spa, remember Mel had that spa day, Tiffany said that at the spa, the conversation pivoted towards her. And Kiki said, yeah, because you were talking about talking to Tisha about me or talking about me to everyone else in relation to me and Tisha's relationship, which you really don't know anything about. And we all remember what happened with that. Tiffany was very steadfast in the whole, well, you should have been claiming to be Tisha's cousin over Mel's friend. They got the same face, Tiffany. We knew that they was family. They all got the same face. They sound alike. They look alike. You wanted to be messy and you saw Kiki as the easy target. So Kiki tells her, you don't know everything that has happened between me and Tisha. This feud that we have didn't just start here on the show. This is years and years and years of dysfunctional family bull that we've been going through. So this had nothing to do with the show. And I will say this, even though a lot of us have seemingly taken a side in the whole Tisha Kiki matter, at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know. There's Tisha's side, there's Kiki's side, and there's the truth somewhere in the middle. And I felt Kiki when she said, do not judge me or think you know me based off of this particular relationship. And I feel like that holds true for everybody. You know what I mean? Whether you see somebody that you might think is an amazing friend to somebody, they're a shitty friend to somebody else. So you can't see one person's relationship with one other person and think you know them. And Kiki told her, ask anybody that's not Marcel, Tisha, or Miss Wanda. Or in her case, Aunt Wanda. Ask anybody outside of those three that knows me, that is around me, how they view me as a person. And, quietest is kept, loudest is known. Kiki made a lot of sense with that because the way that Kiki and Tisha has kind of blown up social media and with this show, the way some of y'all have these like weird parasocial relationships with these people on this show specifically, y'all would have found something by now. Right? Y'all would have found a coworker or a somebody anonymous that wants to come forward and trash Kiki. So Kiki was like, you just don't know me enough to be going around judging my character. I feel the same way. I have had people watch these videos. And I had somebody that was in my Real Housewives of Potomac video that said that they're questioning my character based on whose side I'm on with the whole. And I'm like, I just feel like that's ignorant. It's ignorance. So, Stormy then says that in her confessional, Tiffany likes to be shady, but she cannot handle confrontation or being called out. And that's facts on facts on facts. Tiffany does a lot of throwing the rock and hiding her hand. Tiffany does a lot of that. And then she likes to hide under the vein of, I was just saying what we all felt. No, you were being shady. If you're going to be shady, stand in your shit. If you're going to be shady, if you're going to be messy, if that's how you want to move around on this show and then life, stand on it. But let's not act as if you're just doing, you don't know why this is such a big deal. So Tiffany lets Stormy know that she doesn't, or that she lets Kiki know, she doesn't judge Kiki based on her drug addiction since her parents had drug addictions as well. No, but you were judging her in relation to it though. You may not have been judging her for having the drug addiction, which nobody should. That happens. Some people just succumb to that. Like, and it's considering that Kiki's is painkillers. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's out, doing that white girl or, shooting up or anything like that. Not saying that, any type of addiction as far as drugs go is one is worse than the other or better than the other. But this is a painkiller addiction, which happens to a lot of people. I got my tonsils out 2 years ago. And they put me on Oxy, the liquid form. And I stayed with my parents while I was recovering and healing from it. And because that, when you have that potent of a drug, it's very highly addictive. My parents were terrified that I was going to get addicted to it from being on it for the damn week and a half I was for my tonsils. You know what I mean? Like, it happens to people. I don't judge people that have pill addictions or addictions to, painkillers or stuff like that. It happens. It's something that you should, try to get yourself off of. But it looks like Kiki is taking the proper steps to do it. Tiffany, you definitely were judging her in relation to it because y'all were assuming that she stole that lock, which still hasn't been proven, that she stole that lock in relation to go get money for drugs. That's what y'all were saying. You were judging her for that. Not for being on the addiction, but for the results that happened as a result of it. So Tiffany apologizes, says she now sees Kiki in a different light. Has she taken the time to talk to this lady and get to know her and not prejudge? You could have probably been saw this side of Kiki. Kiki don't have beef with nobody else on the show but Tisha. We don't see Kiki getting into it with nobody else. And we know how combative Stormy is. And we don't see her getting into it with Stormy at all. So Kiki said that outside of all her relationships, nobody thinks she's a bad person. All right, Kiki. Now, if somebody pop up now out of nowhere, then, you kind of talk this up. You talk this up yourself. So then we pan over to Chris coming over to Martel's new house. Martel really got the bags removed from his eyes. Okay. So Chris tells him that, the dinner with his kids went left towards the end because Alexis feels she didn't get the material things that her other kids got, i.e. cars or whatever. So then she was treated differently. Y'all said in the comments that she was raised by her mom. Wasn't raised in that house with them, that makes sense. But if y'all were buying the other kids' cars when they turned 16 and they were all getting BMWs and the other kids are getting this, that, and the third, and she didn't get any of that, then she was treated differently, Chris. I think the real issue is that Chris didn't want that to hit TV. Chris probably feels, and Nell probably feels, that should have stayed, within the family. But y'all chose to have a family dinner on TV, so that's what happened. Kristen asks what happened with Martel and Nell. Martel feels that Nell was being disrespectful. He has an issue with women being disrespectful to men. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all both were going head to head in that thing. I don't think anybody was more disrespectful than the other. Y'all both were yelling. Y'all both were getting loud. Y'all both were bringing up things to try to get underneath the other's skin. So he said that he's going to check any woman that is doing that. I don't know what was going on with Martel's socks. It was like 3 toes out, but then the rest, but it looked like it was meant to be made like that. Was it a compression sock? I didn't quite understand it, but whatever. So basically, Martel, after this going back and forth, Martel is mad that Nell is taking up for Melody. So Martel feels that if you believe, which is proven because there's a whole person to prove, that you were cheating on Melody during your marriage, you got a whole child as a result. So you clearly were. Martel feels that if you don't ask Melody if she cheated, that you were taking her side. Now, here's the thing. If I have a set of friends, right? And one of them, let's say the husband cheats on the wife, produces a child, we have tangible, we can touch it, smell it, taste it, proof. A whole person has been produced. My initial thought is not going to be to turn to the wife and say, did you cheat on him too? Because that's asinine to do. That's stupid. It's stupid to do. So Martel is mad that that happens. Martel, you're mad that not only did that you got caught cheating, not only that, but you're mad that Melody moved on and she didn't stay with you. Before y'all said, yes, Melody took him back before that, but Martel thought that once that baby came, he's mad that Melody didn't want to try to stick it out and work that marriage out, even though he was refusing to stop sleeping with Ariane. Even though. But okay. So Chris says that if there's an issue, you come talk to him. You don't go to Mel. Martel feels that they only talk about his infidelity. Yours is the only one that we are able to prove. You saying that Melody cheated, it's hearsay, Martel. You don't have any proof. You don't have any proof. But Martel is trying to get out of taking accountability by saying, well, she did it too. And now he's saying that she did it first. So who knows? He feels that they picked a side by going to Melody's name change ceremony. But what gets me about that, Martel, if you feel the way about her having a ceremony, fine. But the way that he keeps like blatantly disrespecting her name is wild. Talking about some, Rogers, I mean, that's not a great name. Let's keep it a buck. In my mind that I can think of way more famous Rogers than I can Holtz. What has your family done, Martel? What has your family done? It is so weird for him to shit on her last name like that, to be like, well, that hasn't done anything. But then we finally get the truth. It just feels like it's final, that, there's no more attachment. You're mad that as long as she had your name, she had a tie to you. Yes, I know that they have 4 kids together, but outside of those kids, your tie to Melody was her last name. So anything she did, whether she put out music or she put out a clothing line, or she had like a capsule collection, or she puts out a skincare line, or anything else that Melody does, as long as she has the last name Holt, you felt entitled. You felt entitled to saying that, well, that business has my name on it. Now that she's back to her maiden name that you keep calling a new name, but this was her given name at birth, is weird. And it's showing how much of a little bitch you are, Martel. It is. This is giving very weird behavior. You got a whole nother heifer's purse sitting on your counter. There's another woman that is there right now. Unless production at OWN is just that That irresponsible that somebody from production left her purse sitting on the counter. You had another woman at that house, Martel. So imagine my chagrin for you to be this upset about her having a different last name when you are filming with another woman's purse on the counter. We then get Kimmy and Tisha at the spa, and this was a very, I think, pointless scene. But the gist of this scene is they're getting a Yanni steam. Tisha asks, "Can you do this if you're pregnant?" Tisha, you know you're not pregnant. You wanted to elongate this scene. Tisha claims that she's been gaining weight and not feeling well. I even threw up this morning. You're not pregnant, Tisha. You know you're not pregnant. Kimmy points out that Marceau had a vasectomy. That's not foolproof. Not foolproof. But, like, come on, y'all. So then Tisha say, "But I'm gaining weight." Kimmy said, "Yeah, because you eating. You're eating. It's stress, Tisha. You're gaining stress weight, sis." So Kimmy is like, "This would be a good thing to bring all the ladies to." No, Tisha doesn't want to do that. I don't want to keep talking about Kiki. It's funny how Tisha doesn't want to keep talking about Kiki, but when Melody didn't want to keep talking about Ariane, when Melody didn't want to keep talking about Martel, when Melody didn't want to talk about any of the shit that she was going through, Tisha was the main one wanting to talk about it. But now that y'all are the integral part, y'all are the focus of the drama this season, you don't want to talk about anything. You're on a reality show. Kimmy wants to know, do you have an issue with Mel? Mel thinks you have an issue with her, stemming from the feedback meeting about the expo. Y'all notice Tisha say expo now? She heard y'all. She makes sure to pronounce that X. Well, even going back to the expo, like she even said it like she was thinking about it. She said no, she doesn't have an issue. She just doesn't want to talk about Kiki all the time. She also said that she's not even thinking about Melody. There's no issue with that. She's going through a lot. Tisha wants to be a stay-at-home mom again. This is what I think is happening. Tisha is trying to do everything, right? And I'm not even I know people are saying she's trying to be like Mel and have all these different businesses and juggle them. I think that I don't think it's her trying to be like Melody, but I think that Tisha has seen Melody do it. Tisha has seen Stormy do it. Tisha has seen other women that have kids, that are still wives, that are able to have all these multiple businesses and be successful. And Tisha jumped in head first. She got this hair care line for her kids. She wants to be a real estate agent. They have black. She's trying to build her own website. Like, y'all are doing too much. Y'all are doing too much. You somewhat run scope. Y'all are getting sued every which way. Y'all are catching hell every which way. The QA is out the window. You did this to yourself. So she wants to scale back on everything. You need to work on time management and how to compartmentalize everything. Kimmy tells her, no, just take smaller bites out of what you're trying to do. Don't jump head in and try to do everything because you see Stormy has a successful hair care line. I want to do that too. I want to do that too. That was silly to do. And we can tell that it was just that I want to do something quick to try to get some money type of situation. She then talks about, how the fans are coming down on them. People in the community, were calling and telling on them about the black in business, that type of stuff. Y'all are doing too much. She's worried about her marriage, so she wants to, she saw a life coach. Marceau wants to go to marital therapy. Marital therapy, marriage counseling. My God, marriage counseling. Can y'all hear my stomach growling? I'm hungry. 1 second. I am hungry. Okay. So we then have Chris. So Chris Jr. goes to see Fletcher at work. And this is a scene really about mental health. The last two scenes are. So the gist of this is Fletcher's trying to figure out what is going on with his kids. Why haven't you talked to your mom in a couple of weeks? You don't see an issue with that. Chris Jr. is saying that he doesn't like being around the family because he doesn't want everyone else's opinions. He said that when I'm around people, I get everybody else's opinions and criticisms. It's unwarranted. He said, y'all got an issue with me. The older brother Lance has an issue with me. Mama got an issue with me. He want his dogs back. He said his sisters think he's crazy. Like nobody really talks. He says so the way that he deals with stuff is he stays to himself. And then if he's going through whatever, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he goes to the gym. So Fletcher is like, don't you think that we're all seeing something in you that you're not seeing yourself, and we just want to help you? So Fletcher then says, it sounds like a form of depression, and that scares me. That scares me because, when people, there are varying levels of depression, and when people are going through these levels of depression, sometimes it doesn't end the best. It doesn't end the safest. Or it ends in totality. You know what I mean? So he basically tells his son that if you need me, call me. I'll stop everything I'm doing. I'll call me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning instead of leaving the house and going out in the street to go work out or to go do whatever. And Chris gets emotional. Fletcher gets emotional about this because you can look at your kids and you can tell when something's wrong. And he's looking at his son and he knows that something is wrong and he's trying his best to help him before it's too late. So we then get to Tiffany and Lewis, and this is their farewell to the show. So Tiffany's talking about how stressed she is. They talk about how Tiffany has been like trying to ignore the obvious postpartum she's going through by still acting as if it couldn't affect her, which is just crazy to me. The way Tiffany is like, I know that postpartum is a thing, but not for me. And it's like, how arrogant can you be to think that you would not, there's no way in hell you would be affected by postpartum? So Lou said that Tiffany never slowed down or tried to scale back, hoping that it would just ignore the postpartum. Tiffany then goes on to say that, that she has to get up this early, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for hair and makeup. Then she's working. Then she's doing this. They have kids. They have baby Ace. They're filming sometimes at 9 o'clock at night, trying to get everything together. She then goes on to say, which I was with her up until then, but then she goes on to say that fans expect her to bring drama and they expect you to be messy. No, we don't. We didn't expect one of your very first scenes for you to bring up that Monster got suspended or something from school. We didn't expect you to start talking about the stuff that you did with Stormy. We didn't expect you to or ask you to do all the stuff that you have done. We didn't ask you to get into it with Martel and by, doing the stuff that you said, the conversations you had with Sheree. We didn't ask you or expect you to do any of that. Lou, too. We didn't expect y'all to come in as his couple and start running down the line critiquing all the other couples as if y'all were just, the bee's knees. Nobody asked y'all to do that. Literally nobody. Y'all aren't Claire and Cliff Huxtable no matter how y'all tried to be. And y'all started, the cracks in y'all relationship started to come through last season. Not every couple survives reality TV and y'all were casualties of it. So Lou then asks if it's worth being on TV. Is TV even the best thing for them right now? And we see Tiffany doing a confessional saying that, she doesn't want to step away from the show, but she needs to. And you do. It's time. Which it makes all the sense now why we're getting so much of Nell and Fletcher, because y'all are being pushed out and they're bringing in this new couple. It's really time for the show to end. It is really and truly and utterly time for this show to end. What is the purpose of the show at this point? Wasn't it supposed to be the comeback group, the Core Six, building up the city? How do we get to where we are here with Tiffany and Kiki and Tisha? How do we get here? Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. And I will catch you guys in the next one.